Let's get right into that story. Enes Kanter rips disgusting LeBron's James over Nike connection. This is a Washington Examiner story. He continued his war against Nike on Thursday, sparring no words while ripping into LeBron James. Kanter, who has previously accused Nike of telling a total lie about China's alleged use of slave labor to produce its products, aimed this round at Nike's biggest star. Money over morals for the king. The Celtics center tweeted, sad and disgusting how these athletes pretend they care about social justice. They really do shut up and dribble when Big Boss says so. Did you educate yourself about the slave labor and made your shoes, or is that not part of your research? James refused to offer his own thoughts about China's political policies, instead claiming he had to conduct more research. So, I mean, they're going back and forth here. Enes Kanter's not going to slow down. But LeBron, what he said in the interview, he says, hey, he walked through the hallway. He could have stopped and talked to me, but he didn't do anything.
He's trying to make his name off me.
He's trying to make his name off me. So, hey, you had the opportunity to face me, and you didn't, which, by the way, I agree with LeBron. Mm-hmm. Why don't you go deal with them directly if you did walk into the hallway with them? Now, if LeBron's lying, which I don't think he is, he's trying to build himself up. Enes is going to come back and say, I never walked past this guy, okay? Mm-hmm. But if Enes now comes out and says, hey, I'm willing to do a live with you, let's talk about it. If Enes says, let's have a meeting and talk about this. Yeah. Now, if he wants to kind of come back at it. But, yeah, I mean, he's right, because look what happened. LeBron tweeted about Kyle Rittenhouse just a couple weeks ago, and he got destroyed for it last week or a week and a half ago.
Sure.
But a guy comes in and drives through a community in Wisconsin, kills 5 people, hospitalizes 40 people. Where is a story about that? What's worse of a story?
It's a horrible story.
Horrible story. Kids, this is like, what are you doing? Well, have you watched the video yet?
Of course. Yeah,
did you see the car plummeting or like going over bodies and it's bumping up and down?
I'm surprised the kids even got up, because some of them got up. Like, he just got ran over.
And he was out on
bail. $1,000 bail.
Yeah.
He was running from a domestic dispute.
He had tried to run his wife over earlier in the morning, like his pregnant girlfriend. He tried to run her over with his car earlier that day.
We're kind of all over the place on this story, but you know how we talked about athletes have to reinvent themselves, have to have a second act. Clearly, Enes Kanter is positioning himself for something bigger than basketball when his career is said and done. Now he's sort of more of a backup. He's the backup center on the Celtics now. He's been on 5 teams in as many years.
This is not new, though.
I don't think so.
No, exactly.
He went after Erdogan. He went after Erdogan.
It started with Erdogan.
If you're not afraid of Erdogan, you're not afraid of LeBron James.
And he can't go back to Turkey. They revoked his visa or his passport. He can't go back there. He's been talking about free Tibet. He's obviously calling out the Uyghurs that are going on in China.
Yeah.
This is something that he's doing consistently. And he looks at LeBron, and he's got on the court and off the court beef with LeBron. They've had some issues. But the NBA needs someone like Enes Kanter to sort of be the thorn in people's side. LeBron's getting a little too comfortable. You have to. I mean, LeBron's had a rough week. They came back after being out for a month, injury, now this insult. He got suspended. You know how much he got suspended for? You know how much money he's losing for that one game?
Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah, Isaiah Stewart. He's losing. What does it say here?
Probably $500,000 or something.
Yeah, like $300,000 for the one game. Yeah. The other guy who has never even heard his name before, he's losing $45,000 out 2 games. LeBron's had a rough week, but
I hope he can recover.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be all right.
For a face of the league to be that way.
This is the thing, right?
Like, do you expect anything different?
I do actually.
Look a little bit deeper than who. Skip Bayless. Now, Shannon Sharp says on Skip and Shannon that LeBron can't ever come out and say he's friends with Louis Farrakhan. All right, he's reading Malcolm X. He's reading. Not that this is bad. This is good stuff to read. But he uses Nation of Islam language when he talks. He talks about I stand up for my people. There's this weird LA vibe where there's this nouveau kind of like nationalism that's coming out, where this type of rhetoric becomes incredibly familiar to people that have heard this before. I think, and this is just pure speculation, but this is a podcast and I can speculate. I think that there are some influences that are pretty extreme that have found their way into LeBron's life. I think that there's a lot of influences, especially within the wealthy black community right now, that are Nation of Islam / Marxist in nature, and it's becoming this cultural epicenter where they've got these like rich, attractive, charismatic cultural icons within the black community specifically, and that's where there's going to trickle down. They're going to divulge the Marxist and the nationalist rhetoric. And it's you're hearing it more and more, and if you know what you're listening for, it's pretty obvious. So I don't know. I think for someone like Enes Kanter, here's something like that. He's a pretty well-read guy, and he's like, this is bullshit. This guy's full of it. This guy's spewing nonsense, and he wants to take him to task about it.
Well, as I always tell you, Gerard, you got globalists and you got nationalists, federalists
yeah.
over here, and you got to pick a side.
Good job.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.